but that's the next thing I want to go to. I know that you talk about it, and you talk about it in your book as well, in terms of like being a relational leader.
Yeah.
And so what I'd love for you to do is talk to us about that, but also like differentiate between what you mean now and what it could sound like in your old dynamic of, kind of leading the relationship, right?
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
sounded like it was more of a hierarchy. So can you dive into that for us?
Yeah, exactly. I think you said it pretty well there, where the hierarchy back then was boy girl, but I still felt like I had the upper hand and was looking down upon them. In an adult mutual partnership, it's eye to eye, right? And the relational leader piece for me is someone who is willing to learn and who takes responsibility for their part in a conflict or a relational dynamic. And I was not doing that. I was blaming every woman I dated.
Right.
She's not enough. She's not this enough, that enough. She's too much this way. She's not enough, just nonstop. And I wasn't saying, and some of us do that like with ourselves. We blame ourselves. We're not enough. I wasn't doing that. My blame was external. But a relational leader is like not blaming anyone. We're saying, or when we blame, we say, oh, I'm blaming. Let me see if I can get under that and look at the source of this blame. Maybe it's fear. Maybe I'm feeling threatened in some way, and this is the way I'm protecting myself. So that's a very different kind of tone, right, than what I was doing.
And so therefore, in that sense, can two partners both be leading in the relationship?
Yes, absolutely. So I don't have it that men need to lead women or vice versa. Yeah. It's that the most resourced person in any given moment has this awesome opportunity to lead, and the classic place where we need leadership in our partnerships, in particular in our families, is when things get hard and stressful. And that's like in the domain of conflict. When we're disagreeing, when we're not getting along, when we're triggered by each other, when someone's silent and someone's trying to get connection, and there's this like rift between us. It feels terrible, man. And the leader just says, this feels terrible. I want this to be different. Can we reconnect? And how can we do that in a good way so we both feel safe again and reconnected?
Yeah, nice. I love that. And the differentiation there, which is it's not a blanket thing. I am the leader, I take that role, but it's in the moment, right? Who has the resources in that specific moment? You know what? Oh, maybe I do. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so then let's talk conflict, because this is, I know, a big theme of your book and the work that you do. The book is called, well, actually, can you talk us through the book, Getting to Zero, How to Work Through Conflict in Your High Stakes Relationships, which of course I'm assuming, we often go to relationships are romantic, but they're everywhere as well, right? And conflict comes up in everything. So what is, you said like trigger. So can you talk us through kind of conflict, what's happening, what's going on for us? And then I'd love to explore like this concept of getting to zero.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I define conflict, I think that might be useful for the listener, as a rupture, a disconnection, or an unresolved issue between two people. An unresolved issue could be something from years ago, or it could be just silence between two people, or one person's silent and the other one's trying to get the connection back. All of that feels conflictual, and it can lead both parties or one person to feel disconnected from the other person. And if you've ever been in a long-term relationship and felt really good, you know how bad it feels to feel disconnected from someone that you care about. It just feels bad. So I'm trying to teach people how to get back to a good place, and that good place is zero.
Yeah.
And conflict's very normal. I always remind people, there's nothing wrong with you if you have a lot of conflict or even a little conflict. We're all a little different. I talk about it as we have these scared animals living inside of us. I have a scared animal in me because we're social mammals. And what's very threatening to social mammals is when you're too close to them, or you too far away from them, or you kick them out of the herd. We do not like that. That's extremely threatening to us. So most conflicts are about moving too close or too far away from each other. And then our work is, how do we attune to each other and find that place where this is just right? And then when we fight, which will be too close or too distant, how do we get back to that good place again?